In today's Leeds news, weekend result roundup, loan watch, Leeds interested in Wimbledon striker, and Sam Greenwood clause looks like bad business. Morning folks, Jay here on the 6th of November, Monday, with your Leeds United news. After a fantastic weekend result for the Leeds first team, if you want to check out our match review on that, you can. It's available on the channel. Myself and Michael Maynard spoke about the game on Saturday. That will be linked at the end of this video if you want to go check it out. But it really does make or break your weekend, doesn't it? It was a really good weekend for Leeds fans all around the world. However, not a great weekend for all Leeds teams. We'll crack on, we'll get into this, and we'll start off with a wrap-up of the weekend results from the under-18s up. The under-18s had a comprehensive 3-0 victory away this weekend. 3 goals and a hat-trick coming from Marley Wilson. From a women's team perspective, a 3-0 away loss this weekend will have stopped some progress that they've been making over previous weeks and some good results. Unfortunately, a disappointing performance from the women's team in that game. The under-21s had a bad day out at the office. For Michael Scubata's side, a 7-1 home loss at the hands of Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace were 3-0 up at half-time and went on to go 6-0 up before Leeds grabbed a goal back in the 92nd minute from Joe Snowden before Palace added a 7th in that game. Not some great results. The under-21 result will be seen as a very bad result given how well they've been doing this season in what is a tough division. And there will be moments like this, I'm sure, this year. Yeah, but they've had some good results against bigger sides and the European sides. That'll be viewed as a very bad result, especially being at home and losing by 7-1 to Crystal Palace. So they'll want to rectify that as quickly as possible. I'm sure that they will. A decent side, it was well. Mateo Joseph in that side, Darko JB was in the side. It wasn't a weak side. Sean McGurk was on the bench this week after picking up the Player of the Month award for October. So yeah, get back to winning ways. We'll crack on now. We'll jump straight into loan watch. Luis Sinisterra scored his first goal for Bournemouth off the bench in their 6-1 loss to Manchester City. That puts them third bottom in the Premier Division. Jack Harrison had a full 90 minutes in their 1-1 draw this weekend for Everton. Robin Koch played 90 minutes against Brendan Aronson's Union Berlin in a 3-0 win. In that same game, Brendan Aronson came off the bench in the 83rd minute in their 14th straight loss of the season for Union Berlin, that 3-0 loss to Robin Koch's Frankfurt. Max Vober had a full 90 minutes in the 3-3 draw. That puts them into 11th place this season. I keep saying that Vober's having a very good season. Gladbach not so much. Mark Roca started for Betis in their 2-0 win against Mallorca and was pointed out by media to be labelled as outstanding in the game. Diego Llorente had 90 minutes in his game for Roma this weekend. Rasmus Christensen not so convincing in their 2-1 win against Lecce. He came off the bench in the 78th minute of that game. Sam Greenwood scored his third goal of the season. That's 3 and 5 for Sam in the 64th minute in a 3-3 draw with Plymouth. It looked to be the goal that gave them the winner. He also won a penalty in that game as well. Cody Drama, 11 straight starts for Cody in their 2-2 draw with Ipswich. It looks like it was going to do Leeds a massive favour this weekend, but ultimately ended up with a draw. And Sonny Perkins finally gets some game time, an 83rd minute sub for Oxford in their FA Cup 2-0 win at home to Maidenhead this weekend. Some interesting ones to get into there, and we're going to talk more about Sam Greenwood in a story in a few minutes' time. But we'll move on and we'll look at players that Leeds United have been recorded as being interested in this January coming up. And according to South London press journalist Edmund Brack, he claims that Leeds are interested in Wimbledon striker Ali Al-Hamadi. He's not the only one though. Mirror journalist Darren Whitcoop also claims there are 4 other championship clubs and then Leeds United who are very interested and are keeping an eye on the Wimbledon attacker. Al-Hamadi has been capped by Iraq 7 times and this season has had 5 goals and 7 assists so far this campaign in 17 games. Last season he had 10 goals in 19 games for the club and is a hotly looked after player. However, after the weekend, AFC Wimbledon manager Johnny Jackson was commenting on the situation and basically said that Wimbledon are in a position where they don't need to sell the player and they're not looking to sell the player. However, there is serious interest from lots of clubs. Leeds' interest is coming from local journalists rather than anything major. He is an over 21 years of age player. He's 21 years of age, so it wouldn't be a purchase for the under 21 side. Been interesting one why Leeds need to add more strikers with the emergence of Mateo Joseph, with Sonny Perkins, with Joe Gelhardt, Joe Pirro, Georgina Rutter. There's plenty. So one to keep an eye on. The fee that is labelled at being the potential fee that could get the player away from Wimbledon is £1 million. So not a huge amount of money for any championship club who did want to splash. If he's doing well in League One, he's scoring plenty of goals, and he's got a couple of international caps under his belt as well. So one to keep an eye on there as well. I'm not 100% sure if there's really anything concrete in that. I think Leeds will be looking at the loan market. They've said that. And I think Leeds will be looking more players they can bring in order of getting into the Premier League next year, or can bolster the squad next season when they're in the Premier League. So I don't know about this one. We'll keep an eye on it, and I'll let you know if we hear any more information on this going forward. And then finally today, the final story is about Sam Greenwood. Claims locally of a bad decision by Leeds United to loan out Sam Greenwood. It should be pointed out there are very, very, very few people who had any question marks about Sam Greenwood going out on loan. That was due to his history with Leeds United. He was played in a central defensive midfield role by Jesse Marsh. He'd been played as a striker or as a winger under other managers and didn't really feature much for Leeds last season. Now, he has had 5 goal involvements for Leeds United, famously scoring that cracker against Bournemouth last year. But wasn't really seen as part of the plans coming into this season with the players that have been brought in, despite the fact that Leeds are missing a natural number 10, and Sam Greenwood's preferred position is number 10, which he primarily hasn't played for Leeds United. Greenwood scored his 3rd goal in 5 games for Middlesbrough, as well as getting an assist in that period of time as well, and winning a penalty at the weekend. It's been said basically that Sam Greenwood has gone on from having a couple of good games to now showing consistent form as a good championship quality level number 10. 3 goals in 5 games is very impressive. Greenwood looked like he'd given them the win at the weekend in the 64th minute when he scored for Middlesbrough, but Plymouth equalised in injury time in that game. The release clause has been what's been coming into question the most on the Sam Greenwood situation. Leeds did put a permanent release clause of £1.5 million in the contract as part of the loan deal for Sam Greenwood, which now looks like it would be an absolute bargain for Middlesbrough if they were to make that deal permanent. And for Leeds, it leaves Leeds no opportunity to recall the player or have any opportunity of bringing the player back into the fold at Leeds United, despite the fact Leeds are still lacking a natural out-and-out number 10. Sam Greenwood is doing very, very well. If he continues his form, and that is the if he can continue this form throughout the season, the deal will look at a very bad piece of business for Leeds United to allow a player to leave for £1.5 million, which it looks like. I mean, if Middlesbrough were to see this form continue for the rest of the season, I don't think there's any questions that Middlesbrough will try and make that move permanent as quick as they could. It's one to keep an eye on. He's doing very, very well there. He's playing well. He's been called out by Michael Carrick. Has been excellent for them as well. Had to wait a little bit to start to get his game time, but since he's come into the team, he's really nailed that spot down, and is doing really, really, really well for Middlesbrough. So the only benefit we have is that because he's on loan, he won't play against Leeds, but he is chipping in goals and assists for Borough at present. So one to keep an eye on again over the course of the season, and we'll see what happens there and what transpires. Outside of that, not a huge amount going on today. As I said, the match review from the weekend's game is still available. If you want some more Leeds United content and want to celebrate that victory a little bit more, that is available on the channel and will be linked somewhere down in the corner here, one of these 2 sides right now. Have a great day, and I will see you back here tomorrow for more Leeds news. Talk to you then. Bye.